Hello, here we go again. So this is a grab from the BOPcast. So this is where the gaslighters gather to, just work up their strategies. And so in the room we've got Fatty Down Corner, Russ McCurry or Russ the Puss, Bulldog 101 and the BOPcaster. So let's see what they're up to.
Right, and we don't want to slip out of that top 10, you know what I'm saying? Because
all right, I'll just sneak back a fraction. Pick it up again.
He's in fucking damage mode. We don't need.
Oh, a bit more. Oh, Bulldog's conducting. Yeah, here we go. All right, so just waiting.
Bob, so I heard that you had a bit of a falling out with Rob Beasley last night.
So the thing you'll notice about Bulldog 101, he's obsessing. So this is the fizzing phase, if you like. So I'm the victim of a bullying campaign, which relates to gaslighting. These are psychological attacks that these guys do for entertainment. It's been going on for about 3 years now. But I'm slowly getting on top of these lads. And again, no witch hunt against them. Just they need to come clean and stop these sort of behaviours. So let's see what the boys have got to say. Hello, viewer number 1.
He's a fucking idiot, man.
So that's BOPcaster and his assessment of me. So I'm a effing idiot. But that is actually an example of gaslighting, because let's see, you might have some basis for it, but if you give evidence, broadcast evidence, a statement, particularly when it's denigrating another human being, you should be able to back it up. That would be the mature thing to do. And there's the other question. Why are you doing it in the first place? Are you really a person that should be judge, jury, and executioner, as these guys are? Simple questions, but I bet you they don't have a good answer.
Yeah, I know. It was going along okay before, and then all of a sudden, because I was watching Beasley critique one of these videos, and then it sounded like,
just like I'm doing now.
He was on your side, and then in a split second he fucking flipped, and then all of a sudden, you're on the hit list.
He's a fucking idiot.
No, I don't flip just like that. This is how they broadcast again. So that's delusional behaviours. What I did, excuse me, got to have eat every now and then. I saw this BOPcast in his behaviour. So he's nothing more than a gaslighter, just like Down Corner is a gaslighter. Russ McCurry is a gaslighter. Thick as thieves they are. So it wasn't an instantaneous reaction. It was actually based on evidence. So I've got that evidence. That's different to what these guys do. They make outrageous claims, and this is the gaslighting style, but they don't produce any evidence. They expect you to bloody believe what they say just off the top.
He's an arsehole.
No, not really. I don't think so. There's a few people that don't think so. Maybe it's just you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the first time I'd ever met him.
That might well be a lie, because I think I remember this dude from last year. But if I'm wrong, his behaviours are what, and the fact that he's associating with this bullying cartel, speak volumes to the quality of a human being he is. These are behaviours we're talking about.
What you spoke to the guy ever till last night?
Well, that's generally what happens, Bob. So that's why I don't know if you've noticed, but he's got no teeth on the left-hand side of his face. So that means he.
No, he's talking about 2 lowers are missing and 4 uppers, because when I was much younger, around about 22, No, it was before we got married, so around about 20s, early 20s. I got drunk one night and got beat up. That's all. No biggie.
Had a really good right hook, you know, like in his younger days, and they knocked out his teeth.
Yeah, yeah.
And but he hasn't changed his ways ever since
Haven't been beat up since. That's about 40 years.
that day, that fateful day. He's never changed his ways, and I'm surprised that he.
So what are you doing there? They're actually starting to pay attention to me. You know, when you, particularly egoic behaviours, they have a base. Something happened to people to behave the way they are. And what I hope to do is actually get that out of these guys, and then that'll set them right. But in my case, just got beat up. That's all. No biggie. Didn't worry about it. Went on with life.
Hasn't got the rest of them fucking knocked out. But then again, you know, you need someone with a good left hook, you know, to knock the rest of them out. He obviously hasn't come across someone with a.
So you're wishing me well, are you, Mr. Bulldog?
Left hand, or a nice good left hand jab. Yeah, he's got serious problems, Bob, and I'm going to make some phone calls to see if I can get him extradited to the, say, you know, like the Dominican Republic or somewhere like the Congo.
That sounds nice. I've never been there, so I'm up for it. But I think you're being delusional again. That's what happens with these gaslighters. They make up a lot of stuff on the fly. And so they become a bit of an easy target to point out their errors. But they're very, very stubborn. Very, very stubborn. And the boys are, you know, I think I'm really winning the battle because they're really at the point where they just want me to get out of their hair. But they got to remember, they've been lying about me for 3 years. If they continue lying, I'm going to keep fronting up. So they have to be the ones to run away, because I won't.
Yeah.
Because we don't want him here. Like, we want to stay in the, you know, like, we're in the top 10, you know, like, smart countries in the world, right? And
No, we're not.
we don't want to slip out of that top 10, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we need our 5-star credit rating. And he's actually dragging us down into the fucking doldrums.
Surely these boys are smart enough to say, fucking hell, what am I listening to here? There's a guy that's fanciful. He's really flights of fantasy. You know, things are not going to happen. Surely to goodness, boys, you can see this guy's starting to lose his grip on reality.
That's what's happening right now. Dragging us down, right?
No.
Look at the amount of damage that he's done already just in G+ communities.
Oh, really? This will be interesting.
He's in fucking damage mode. We don't need people like that over here, Bops. You know, you're gonna say, oh, fucking you, all of you people in Australia are all fucking stupid. You know, I can't.
That's a phenomenon called projecting. I mean, when I first met this dude, you know, I felt embarrassed in front of the Americans for his behaviours. They were pretty ordinary, and they haven't changed. So he's really projecting his own behaviours over me. I don't think I'm an embarrassment. In fact, in the fullness of time, I might be someone that you might remember, but we'll have to see how that plays out.
People like that fucking roaming around the streets. He has to be contained or fucking extradited. It's as simple as that, Bob.
I noticed they're not giving any feedback. So I think they are a little bit saying, what the fuck?
You know, and I'm being fair too. You know, I'm not.
No, you're not. If you were fair, you'd block me. And I wouldn't have to put up with your lies.
Throwing him in the fucking, you know, down the gallows. I'm just fucking like deporting him to another country. You know, somewhere where, you know, like, he's more in tune to the fucking, you know, his evil ways.
I'm the furthest thing from evil. I follow Jesus' teachings from the Gospel of Thomas, and I'm not an evil man. But ego, people with ego and telling lies, that equates to ego, greedy, and this guy, you know, would be a little devil. But again, these are behaviours, all fixable.
He's a disgrace, absolute fucking disgrace.
Well, I said take off the this, and what you get left is what I am, graceful.
Ace.
So I take it you don't like him then?
Well, it's not just me. It's fucking like everybody else. Like, look at Bops. You know, first encounter, bang, straight off the bat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I never fucking seen him, heard of him a fuck all. I just heard of this new Gaslighter and shit, and then last night he fucking just texted me, Russ the Puss. And he was with his buddy.
That's me just getting a little bit back at those dudes. Harmful stuff, though. I'm not calling them out for being... Well, I'm only calling them out for their bad behaviour, which is egoic, which really is nothing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So,
Name calling. Yeah, I know. Childish name calling. Very childish.
Hey, Bulldog, what if we just pull up... Well, I won't do it now because I got plenty of them. But, you know, what did you say about my wife and what you were going to do and what she's like? You know, is that name calling? I'm stating actually truth. I'm being creative.
You know, listen, look, I'll tell you what, we've already thrown him in the fucking psych ward 2 times before, right? So you can't turn...
Whoa! Whoa! Hold the fort. What did he just say? So he's... Because I've always felt that this dude is responsible for my going into a mental health care scenario for 19 days and then a second period of about 16. That's exactly what he's talking about. And he's taking responsibility for that? Oh, my goodness. Maybe I've always been right about it.
Around and say, oh, you haven't done nothing about it. Well, we're doing something. We're trying to do something about it. You know? We're trying to. Like, he had his first stint in the psych ward, you know, that was like a 19-day fucking, you know, weekender. And then after he got out, you know, we, you know, gave him his fucking pills, went on his way, but then he fucking had a relapse, right? And then after his relapse, we thought, oh, fuck.
Well, actually, that relapse is questionable. It was on the back of trying to deal with these dudes the second time. Not, you know, again, just get the truth out of them. That's all I want. And you know, if I'm hearing it correctly, he's saying he had a part in that. So what had happened, my legs, my ankles had swollen up. And, yeah, and well, you know, I was getting engaged perhaps too much, not like now. So, yeah, that's very, very interesting.
You know, we're going to throw him back into the fucking psych ward again, right? So this time we thought, right, we'll do a fucking really good overhaul on him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, not just a fucking little spark plug change. We'll do a fucking full-on rebuild. We kept him in there for 120 days, right? And then after he came...
That's a flat-out lie. Flat-out lie. And that can be proven. So it was about 16 days or 17 days or something like that. And then, you know, 12 months apart. He's been pushing this line of 120 days. He says he's got evidence in that. And I simply asked him, well, what's the evidence? I mean, I can get it myself. I don't think the medical people give out, you know, details about patients and their stays to just any Tom, Dick and Harry that rings up. I think you'll find it's got to be the person himself. So And I can get those details, I think, and then I'll publish them at an appropriate time. So this guy is flat out delusional. Well, actually, I'll have it in about a week. I must remember to pick that up.
Out, we thought, oh, you know, he's all fixed. You know, that's what we thought anyway. And then
no, you didn't. You called me a nutcase, insane, psycho.
He's come back again, and look, he's I think he's like an old fucking bomb. You know, we can't rebuild him. He's fucked. That's why I'm thinking.
No, I'm doing good, better than ever. You know, boys, I've told you that I hold the view with great conviction that I'm enlightened. I wrote this story about religions, 900 years of research, worked on the Jesus sayings. I think I've effectively translated them. Well, not translated, interpreted them is the word. And I think I have a really good grasp of what spirituality is all about. So, whilst he might, his perception, again, we've got his delusional worldview, whilst he might hold that negative view, I don't. I find it quite a positive thing. Learnt heaps. And that's why I'm able to stay and not get drawn in by these people. Stay the course with them. Keep fronting up, keep answering, you know, telling the truth, so that they have both the truth and the lie held in mind. So my hope is that, you know, they say the truth will set you free. So these people will be liberated when they accept the truth for what it is and publicly confess. That would be the absolute best outcome. And sincerely confess.
Well, we've tried our best. 120 days in the fucking slammer, psych ward slammer that is. And look what's happened. You know?
What's happened?
So you can't turn around and say, oh, fuck, you know, you didn't give him a fucking good tune-up. We fucking tried. So I'm thinking about fuck.
Well, hang on a minute. I think there's a little subtle problem here. Is this guy a medical professional? Is he a psychologist, a psychiatrist? Or does he know anything about spirituality at all? Nah. And where does he have the right to, you know, conduct himself in that manner? So we have to find out from him, you know, A, what's the basis that he felt like he had to engage rather than just ignore me and go away? And B, what right does he have to do that where he's not really qualified? Just one sec. Oh, no way.
Exporting him off to the fucking Congo or fucking the Dominican Republic or somewhere like that. Or any other country that's fucking willing to fucking put their hand up and say, we'll take him.
Germany will take him.
Who do you reckon will take him? Germany. Oh, I don't know. I'll have to fucking ring up Angela fucking Merkel, see if she'll fucking take him.
Nancy baby will sort it.
You reckon?
Yeah.
We can't handle it anymore. That's all I can say. It's fucking.
So you give up?
It's costing the community fucking tens of thousands of dollars.
How does that work out?
Right.
They're thinking, what the fuck? Where's this money? Because they'd be saying, well, I want to get my hands on some of that money. The guy, I tell you, he's definitely delusional.
He's a disgrace. Absolute fucking disgrace.
Heard that all before. Move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Russ, you're a rocket scientist.
He's got one of the biggest fucking egos on the internet. That's
Projecting again. Enlightened folks don't have egos. this guy has an ego. Well, actually, all of these dudes. Now, am I right or wrong on that point? Consider this. Think about it. Think it through. What's the majority state on between people when it comes to enlightenment? It's people with egos. What's the minority state when it comes to enlightenment? It's a small population. It's not the majority. So, judging by his behaviours just on this video, which camp would you put him in? Well, I think definitely he sits in the ego side. You'd have to sit with me for a little bit and get me to explain my point of view on spirituality, how that all functions, why Jesus was a real person, that sort of story. Read my book, What Is This Thing Called God? To get a perspective of, you know, why I say that I'm enlightened. But I can tell you this guy's not. And I can also tell you I don't have an ego.
Absolutely huge. Right?
Right.
And he turns around and says, oh no, I don't have a fucking ego. He's got the worst fucking egos that we've ever come across.
Right.
Not to mention his fucking narcissistic behaviour.
Now he's projecting again. So the way I live my life, well, at least certainly in the latter part of it, is I like to help out, and I'm probably the furthest from narcissism, but you could look at some of my behaviors and it might look like I'm being narcissistic. I'm not. I don't attack. Oh, there are times when I say he's an idiot, blah, blah, blah. But from my terms of reference, I'm really just attacking the ego, not the person. And when I make a comment, I can usually back it up with evidence and facts. But I'll do it in a cheeky way just to get these guys fired up. Let them know who's boss.
Oh, shit, that's off the scales. Absolutely disgusting. Disgusting behaviour. And
another thing I just picked up there. He's just learned something. He's focusing on behaviour. Because then he can say, look at you, Rob, you do blah, blah, blah. And look at me, I do behaviours. Well, I'm sorry, dude. You won't win that one because I can explain my actions and I can also show videos of your bad behaviour.
And he's in total denial. Total denial.
No. I'm in reality. You're in denial. Hello, viewer one.
You know, and he sits behind the computer, watching other people's videos, talking to the screen, right, going, nah. I've got an explanation
Exactly what I'm doing now.
for this, and I've got an explanation for that.
See, one of the things with these gaslighters, when you get into a room with them, they'll just bully you and silence your voice. So I choose not to. They make all their accusations. Fine, go ahead, but I'll get your videos if they're online or available, and then I'll just run the commentary and give my point of view, my side, which is only equitable. And it seems to work quite well because, you know, I get to express and make observations. I demonstrate that I actually do know stuff about the human condition.
He's got all the fucking explanations, but they all don't make fucking sense.
Make perfect sense to me.
Right? And he thinks he can pull the wool over people's eyes. Right?
Well, no. I just explain enlightenment and I explain spirituality. And guess what? They start to connect to those ideas. And it's not based on just simple, although it's simple and short, I can tie it back to spiritual traditions going right the way back through history. So, I'm no mug, Mr. May.
Rob Beasley, you cannot pull the wool over fucking people's eyes, okay?
Okay. No, okay.
The only fucking wool that's over anybody's eyes is fucking yours, right?
Right.
Failed book writer, right? Failed.
No, it was a complete success for me personally. I just wasn't able to sell it because apologists got to it first.
Absolutely. And then he came on here after he wrote his fucking dumbass fucking, oh my God, it was.
This guy hasn't even read the book, by the way.
It was pitiful, absolutely pitiful. You know, he wrote this fucking book.
One sec. I'm back.
And he's still trying to fucking go, no, it's the best book in the fucking world.
Well, I don't know, but well, actually, consider this. Consider this and think it through. Most atheists hold the view that the religions are basically a scam. Well, I can explain specifically why it's a scam, and that's quite useful because when you get rid of religions, a lot of things. It's like getting rid of egos, Mr. May. Things improve when you don't have egos and empires. Things improve.
No, it's not even fucking close to the fucking millionth fucking book in the world. I think you should listen, Beasley, if you're listening to this, get all those fucking books and chuck them in the shit house. All of them.
Huh. I don't have to. They're electronic.
Destroy every fucking copy that you ever fucking wrote, right? Right. Just pretend it was a bad dream. There you go.
There you go.
Throw them all in the shit house.
Right. There you go. Come on, move along. Otherwise, I have to cut it short. But I've got enough material on you.
And then after you finish doing that, come on the internet and apologize to everybody who you've ever had an argument with over this stupid book of yours. You've even admitted that it was a silly book.
No, not me. That's you being delusional again. You don't spend 2 years of your life writing a book to turn around and say, oh, that was silly. You'd say it was silly before you published. And publishing costs a bit of money, let me tell you.
Right, we've got fucking you. He actually called it a silly book himself.
No. Where's the evidence?
And then he gets all these bad ratings on his videos, right? All thumbs down.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't mind. As long as they watch, that's all I need. What you'll find, Mr. May, is that you'll learn something and it'll start to grow on you. Whether you believe it or not. Believe, you're a believer, John May.
Yeah, he thinks that he can't say it as a win. And then he goes on these stupid fundraisers to fucking like raise money to take people to court.
Yes, that's true. Didn't make any money there, but you know, you got to have a go. Now, that's interesting. I had no intention of doing the court route again, because I just don't know that it's realistic. But, yeah, just something. Yeah, something might happen. Who knows?
He's raised fucking nothing. Not even a brass razoo. Check this out, Russ. Look in the outside chat. Check that out.
Right, where are we?
Oh, hang on a second. I'll give you the fucking thing here. There we go. Check that out. Look at that fundraiser.
Oh, let's have a look. It's not in the outside. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's all.
See, he calls it a crazy book, right? So he's basically telling you it's crazy, it's stupid.
Hang on a minute. I'd have to see that.
And look how much money he raised. How much
Nothing.
does it say there, Russ?
Absolutely. Fuck all.
There you go.
By zero back.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it did really well.
I know. He should be ashamed of himself.
No, I'm not.
And do you know what he says? You know what he said to me the other day? He says, oh, but I tried. It's like, you've been trying all your fucking life. He's just full of failures.
Did I? I tried. Oh, yeah, you're probably talking about the raising the money. Yeah, I had a crack. Didn't work. That's all right, move on.
Every single time. Fail, fail, fail. You think a normal person would give up. You know what I mean? It's a bit like, I'll tell you something, Russ. It's a bit like, let's say you've got a horse and, you've trained it, and you take it down the fucking races and it comes last. You go, oh, okay, I'll give it another go. And then next race comes last again. And then the next race, he keeps coming last. And then, after a while, Russ, you've got to say to yourself,
Yeah.
is this horse any fucking good? Now, if you keep fucking racing and it keeps coming last, you're going to say to yourself, you know what, it's not a really...
Hello, viewer number 2. Guess what? Sydney Schneider has entered the building. Sydney Schneider, the rock spider. Welcome aboard, Sydney. I think it's Sydney. Yeah, Bulldogs are there. Down corner, Russ, the Puss, and BOPPY a lot. That's Sydney. With his 11 satanic rules. Crazy shit that is.
good fucking horse, right? But Beasley keeps going on and on and on and on. Now,
well, no, no, you got that fucking wrong again. And I can prove it over and over again. For me to shadow a video, there must be a video in place first. Got that, Mr. May? Think it through. Oh, pardon me. So the initiators are always you people, and you're always broadcasting lies. You're doing your gaslighting. That's what happens, right? And if I can find a way to boost the popularity or the awareness, sorry, not popularity, awareness of gaslighting, I'm gonna damn well do it.
this is like, for instance, he's had this book on the market for like 3 or 4 years, right?
Yeah, that'd be right.
He hasn't hit double figures yet. You got to say to yourself, I've got to give up now,
No, that's stupid. Listen, when you publish something online, it can sit there for a long time. It costs you nothing. So who cares? You just never know. People might just listen to me one day and learn a little bit. Hello, viewer number 3. Learn a bit about spirituality, because I tell you, I know exactly how it works. So if that happens, they might be interested in reading my book to learn about or find the absolute explanations why religions exist. So, if it's true that there's no God in the sky, which it is, there has to be an explanation. And I have that explanation.
You've been, trying to sell a book, trying to market it. Everyone's fucking condemned it as a fucking piece of shit, right? And
that's not quite correct. So Sydney Schneider, the spider, I called him out the other day. He said, I read the book and it's trash, basically. So I said to Sydney Schneider, the spider, I said, Sydney, what are the 5 corruptions that I talk about in the book? Of course, Sydney, I knew, hadn't read them, so he had no answer. BullFrog. So that's one person that hasn't read the book. BullFrog has not read the book. Down Corner's not read the book. There's very few people that have ever taken the time to read the book. So, you know, they talk the shit up. So this is delusional talk. It's designed to irritate. So what they're trying to do, without any success, they're trying to gaslight me. This is a psychological attack, but it won't work because I understand all of the mechanics. So, you know, I'm just not fazed. All right, boys, way you go.
You know, a normal person would just go, well, you know, maybe the people are right. Maybe it is a piece of shit.
Well, the people haven't read it. They just, that's the thing. So you can't say that it's a piece of shit unless you read it. Secondarily, if people don't buy it, they're not reading it. So we still can't get to that point of assessing its value. You have to read the whole book too. Because, you know, first-time author, there's going to be some awkward moments, I guess. But when you get into the story, and you'll find it's all been checked and validated. It all maps back to history.
But no, Beasley says no, it's the fucking best book in the world.
Well, I think it's got a lot of potential. But, you know, it is what it is. If it never sells, that's life. Move on.
I'm in the side chat with him, and I just bought Rob Bulldog said burn your book.
Yeah. That's a gaslighting attack, you know. It's sort of, but I don't care about that. It means nothing to me. the funny part about that is it's an electronic book. So how do you go about burning an electronic book? These boys ain't too switched on in the brain box department.
Nah. I put burn your book today. He's put okay. Then Amy just put a picture of Rob's book shredded.
Yeah, well, all she's done is Googled some bloody book shredding thing. But again, it's electronic, people. Wake up. And if you burn it, it doesn't hurt my feelings. It doesn't matter. Even if you burnt the real book, I wouldn't care. It doesn't change my spirituality.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's pissed off at that.
No, I'm not. Here I am. Don't speak for me. Let me speak for myself.
I can't see it.
It's in a room. Bennett, the good wrestling, Tom and 7 others.
Hang on, let me have a look. I'll see if I'm at it. No, I'm not in there.
Right.
Add me.
So I'm shite on those.
Now, I made this little meme. Hang on a second. Where is it? It's one of my favorites. Here we are. Yes. This is one of my favorite memes here. You know, I could have written a lot more, but there's only so much space I've got.
Come on, hurry up.
It's unbelievable. He's in total denial of the truth. Total denial.
No. You can't handle the truth. I can handle the truth.
And he's got an excuse for everything, Russ.
No. It's because you guys spout a bunch of lies and I've got an answer for all your lies.
Everything that you put out there, he's got some dumbass fucking excuse. He's even got excuses for fucking sex predators who've already been fucking charged. He turns around and says, "Oh well, we're gonna have a look. We're gonna have a look at the evidence."
So what he's talking about there, a guy called Luke Dog, on G+. Now they found he enlisted on two sex offender registers, and yeah. So what they're trying to do is entangle his behaviours with mine. That's what his agenda is. So yeah. So that's their agenda. Now, I wouldn't take their word because basically the charge was attempted sexual assault. It had his picture. Apparently, he was when he was 19. The guy himself says, the guy says it was his twin brother, but that's not good enough for me. So I said, I need a photo of you two brothers together before I'll, support you or whatever. But the way these people were telling the story, they really, basically made it like a criminal act, which in fact it is. And I mean, but the guy's been charged. He's on a registered list. I'm assuming that the evidence to date is true. And, so the proper judicial system has dealt with him. Where do these guys have a right to play judge, jury and executioner all over again? I find that a bit incredulous. And the way they were telling the story, I know that they would exaggerate, which is this gaslighting phenomena. So for me, the order of business is the guy has to show me the twins or tell me why that was a lie. Hopefully that leads into him saying exactly what happened. And, if he's charged by his own admission and it all matches up, we put a timestamp on it, ask him what's happened since then, because there was apparently public intoxication. So the guy, there's another element to this story that these guys don't promote. So that's what they're talking about. I just won't judge anyone until I've had a chance to look at the evidence. These guys will hang you based on, and not only that, they'll build up a story that's untrue, or they'll take a true story and they'll build it up. So I think I know where this is going now.
And there's Sydney putting up the fucking evidence on the screen that he's already been convicted. It's a done deal.
I'd seen all that.
And he's still, and Beasley's there trying to defend it. It's just total fucking madness.
All right, I think I know where this is going now. So I might just call it quits. And besides, it's a little bit late. Because I know exactly where it's going, I'm comfortable, right, that I can handle anything that they propose. Although I really am inclined. Hang on. That's not me, though. Okay, away we go. I've decided I'm going to run it all the way through, but I know what they're up to.
He's a man. He's out of control. Totally out of control.
Who, Luke? Not me. I'm in absolute control.
Next minute, like if you put up a fucking something about old Hitler, you probably turn around and have an excuse for that too.
Well, I'd have to do the research, but I certainly wouldn't make up a judgment without evidence and investigation. I just wouldn't. I won't do that sort of shit. Now, if I found out that Lukey was guilty as charged, I want to know that he's been contrite and moved on, and particularly in relation to the girl, if it was possible, because maybe the girl doesn't want to. But again, there's so many unknowns. I don't know the ages. They tried to connect it up to a missing lady, as if Luke was the guilty murderer or some bloody thing. This is the crazy shit that these guys get up to.
No, he's not. I've just posted that. His funds thing into that other side chat. He doesn't like that one either.
Add me to the room, Russ. I can't see it. I'm not in that room. Just add me.
How do I add you to this room? It's got settings on it. Oh, I think I know. No.
Yeah, you click on the little man where it says 11 or 12 or 15, and then it says down add people.
Yeah, I'll get to it. Add people.
Type it in Bulldog 101, and then you might see a couple of icons there. Just add them both.
Yeah, I've got one look. I've done BOPPY and all. Alright. Are you in there now? Yeah.
Oh, come on, boys.
Yeah, it's disgusting, you know.
That's his new buzzword.
Just do a test fucking message, you know, like just type anything, see if I've been added to the room. Because I don't know if I'm in there yet. I don't know which one it is.
Amy's got in. I'll add you again here.
Just to add the other Bulldog, because you might have added the wrong one.
I've already got one for you.
Yeah, but do it again and another one should pop up. Because I can't see it. What's the name of the room, did you say?
What's it called? Fucking hell. I don't know. It says Benny the Good Wrestling, Tom, and 9 others.
No, I'm not in
I'll
there.
just ask Amy.
Yeah.
I'll just.
Okay, I'll ask Amy. Hang on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Long one. Fucking different.
I agree.
Yeah, Amy added me.
Yeah, I just asked it. I've just bought Eddie Bulldog, please. She's added you.
Yeah, I know she did.
Oh,
After I asked you to do it, right? You didn't do it, and we had to get fucking Amy to do it. But I'm in.
All right, so
here
I can see you.
Let Beasley see the message.
Pardon me.
Where's Beasley?
I'm here.
He's in a room. He's just in the side chat.
Okay, I'll be back in a minute. I've got to get something to fucking eat.
Hold on.
What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna skip this along a bit because it's starting to get a bit boring. If I miss stuff, too bad.
Logically have formatted because we disagree with immoral behaviors. Tell me how you cannot use common fucking sense, which says that a crime and law is talking about harm, injury, cause and loss. If you abuse it, I'm still talking, let me finish. If you abuse a child who is under 16 years old, common sense deserves your fucking dick gets cut off. So don't...
Right, yeah, okay. Let me respond. Now let me respond. Let me respond. Can I respond? Claire, can I respond? Adults, you know, this works.
You have to. I'm
thing.
not running out of time.
I say something, you say something. You said that, it's a good point. You're right. Right, you're absolutely right. But you know
That's
what?
your
Let me continue without you interrupting, right, yeah?
Don't shout.
Let me continue. Let me just have 2 minutes, then you can have.
Well, you should apologise. You make very big accusations.
No, I'm not going to apologise. I'm not going to apologise for anything because you're right in one aspect, right? Yeah, one aspect. Anyone abuses a child under the age of 16 or what?
Common sense, mate. If you don't fucking know that's common sense, don't come and chop your.
Let me listen, retard. Listen, retard. Let me finish.
That cunt face. Don't retard me, cunt face. All right, calm down.
Let me finish speaking. Let me finish speaking. You obviously, all you're proving to anyone that follows your work is that you don't like the answer.
No one listens to your shit show. I'm here to entertain you and tell you all to get fucked.
Shut up then. Shut up, because people, this will be uploaded to my Facebook and it will be listened to by many others.
No, not anyone who follows your show and believes the bullshit that you take.
Let me just finish. Let me finish. You're obscuring any points that could have been made because you haven't got it in you to shut up and let someone respond. Right?
You don't have to shut up, darling.
Let me just say what I was going to say.
I'm
you're impossible. Just shut up for 1 second.
I'm gracing you
You
with my
made a
time.
good
Show some
point.
fucking respect, you little bastards.
Right. Yeah, then let me speak. Respect is earned. You haven't earned anything yet. Anywhere. Right? You made a good point. Right? If someone abuses a child, they need to be held accountable for it. Right? Whether they abuse a child or an adult, they need to be held accountable for it. That age has got relatively nothing to do when it comes to abuse.
The age.
But you know what? Let me finish speaking. Let me finish speaking. Intellectually, in courts of law. Right, let me tell you something, Claire. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. In courts of law, nationwide, you won't let anyone respond. You won't let anyone respond. Claire, you won't let me respond because I obviously know more about the law than you. Shut up, let me respond to what you said. I haven't been able to respond to what you said for 5 minutes because you just won't allow it. Why won't you allow the response? Are you scared?
You little fuck.
Are you scared of the response? Because it's going to be said whether you are here or
I'm not
not.
scared of you. Otherwise, I wouldn't be phoning your fucking lame ass show and calling you.
You are scared. You're scared because you won't let me respond. But everyone can see whenever I start speaking, you start speaking over me. You
Go on then.
You made a good point. Now you said something about common sense and anyone that abuses a child under 16. Now let me tell you a fact about courts of law and barristers that deal with these cases, right? Yeah, which is going to be known by everyone that listens to this, right? Yeah, sometimes tragic cases, the paedophile or the abuser isn't apprehended and caught for that action because sometimes the child and the abuse victim involved are willing participants, right? Yeah. As hard as it is for you to grasp that,
It's not
emotionally, that's hard for a lot of people to grasp. However, that's why intellectuals deal with it in a court of law, right? That's why intellectuals deal with it in a court of law, right?
Well, are they intellectuals?
If a paedophile used your logic, let me just get this clear. If a paedophile used your logic, and if your logic had any merit and any weight, they could say in a court of law who was abused, who was harmed. They were a willing participant. The age of consent is the statute and act of law. I don't consent
you obviously don't understand what a court of law is, sweetheart. That's your thick problem.
You obviously don't understand.
No, you're talking about a court of law. Tell me where there's a court of law in this country, sweetie. Or are you talking about legalities?
What about?
Oh my God, are you that thick? You don't even know that there's
you thick. What did you just say? What did you just say? What's the question? Are you trying to say that there are no? Are you that much of a free card? Are you trying to say that there's no courts of law in England?
That's the worst insult you've got, darling. Free card on top of paedophile, child abuse.
I have just intellectually snapped out.
You've got no proof to back up paedophile allegations. You're claiming that Chrissy David. You're gonna let me finish. Claim that Chris. No, I'm still talking. Come face for a minute.
Smash out the water. Respond to the point. Or not, or respond to the point, or carry on making a pass out of yourself because you're intellectually incapable of responding to the point.
Darling, I have joined a group of radios with idiots. I mean, you can do nothing but fucking beat me in experience of dumbass.
Right. You're the only one acting like an idiot here. Respond to the point.
Well, no, Baba keeps muting me, and then you don't let me answer the question, you fucking retard.
Answer it. Answer the question. Answer the premise and point.
What was the question? You're talking to me about paedophiles. How the fuck do I know how paedophiles think? You will know how paedophiles think more than I. Because
I'm telling you, listen.
Jamie Barnes, Daryl.
I'll say it again. You obviously don't understand the premise. Let me just finish. If you have the ability to watch this, you have the ability to be on it. Google have made this simple for fucking retards. Yeah? Because people just want to click a button and do something. Yeah? And Google have done this for those that just want to click a button and do something. Snappy, it's fast, jazzy, click a link. But you only have to download the app that enables it into your web browser one time, and then you log in forever whenever there's a hangout going. One time you have to install something from your web browser, and that takes 30 seconds. That's it. Once you've done that, you're in here forever. Look, yay! See, if this retard can do it, any retard can do it. You get me? That just proves my point. Google have made this for fucking idiots. Click a button and join. And look, I've just proved my point. As soon as I said it, along pops a fucking idiot and joined. Put the kettle on.
Question then, instead of just chatting shit in groups.
All right, and here's a question. If statutes and acts are not real laws, hang on, I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question. Let me ask it. You just said, why don't you ask? Why don't you
introduce me?
Why
don't you be a gentleman?
Everyone on here knows who you are because you called me out today.
I never met you. You talk about me. I didn't even know you existed, darling. Get it right.
A minute. Just shut your mouth for a minute. I'm going to let me ask you the question.
Daddy. Yes, Daddy. Go ahead.
Have you finished your little fucking melodrama now? Your little entry?
Oh, darling. Just ask the question and get that cock out your mouth.
Right. Listen, yeah? If statutes and acts to you are not real laws, right, yeah?
Are you asking me a question or are you telling me what I think?
Let me finish asking it, right, yeah? You think, according to your videos, I've heard you on the phone to the desk sergeant. And you were going, acts and statutes are not real law. That's not law. You should know what law is. That's not law. You think, let me ask the question.
We'll get to it then. We haven't got a lot of time.
Well, you won't see. You just can't let me ask the fucking question.
Just get to the point. You're droning on and on.
You've interrupted me every time I've tried speaking so far. Right, let me ask the question. The age of consent is a statute and act of Parliament. Do you, Claire, think that that is not law?
I think that's fucking common sense. And the fact that you think they're paedophiles because we don't agree with other shit shows how all thick you are. The funny thing is, if
right,
anyone,
let me ask you the question again.
are you going to let me finish? Will you let me finish?
You made a good point. Now, you said something about common sense, the pedophiles, an excuse.
You don't even know me.
Children.
You don't.
For it. Statutory rank just makes out like it was okay, but it's just against the legality. Fuck that, it's not okay at all. Do you know what I mean? It's just rape. That's what the English law says. So, all I'm saying is these people, innit, like Chrissy Murray, like Claire Kennedy, and all their little fucking free man on the land cards that think statutes and acts don't apply to them, are basically giving an argument for a paedophile that's groomed a willing participant. Simple as that. Inadvertently or otherwise, perhaps it's part of this.
I've got to watch this, dear.
Fucking paedophile network scheme, and I'm actually on the rims of exposing it. I don't expect paedophile fucking networks to come out and go, "Hello, everyone, we're a paedophile network. Hello." I expect them to be like very cold and calculative in how they try to justify their way of life. Like Kennedy, she might even be one for them. Yeah? You know.
So one of the things that the gaslighting phenomenon, particularly when I guess they get desperate, is that they'll create a scenario to gaslight you. They'll go to a great thing. I'm wondering whether this is sounding like this dude's going to burst open a pedophile ring. I wonder if he's going to try and somehow link me into that. Now, I know the reality of all my experiences. So it'll be interesting if they try that caper. We'll see how it plays out.
What I mean, yeah. So just because she's a woman doesn't mean she can't be a paedophile. But what I can tell you for sure is that her argument in regards to the law and giving it to constables of law and anyone around her is, inadvertently or not, arming paedophiles with false sense of.
Well, here's what you do, batter, wherever you are. If you've got good evidence, what you do is you grab that evidence and you run down to the policeman, because it's their frigging job, not yours. You're not a psychiatrist. You're not a bloody policeman. You're just a person that gaslights victims to create psychological things. So you're a sadist. That's what you are, dude. So what you do, you know, or what a normal human being would do, they take that evidence and they give it to the police. And then the police would investigate. You're not the policeman. You don't do that. You can't. So what it's it's so ridiculous. It's funny. You're not a court. In Australia, we call this a kangaroo court, right? But you're not really qualified, or nor would you be considered suitable executors of the law. It's kind of like a witch hunt. So anyway.
Security. So what they're doing is okay because their victims are happy with it. They don't mind being abused. Well, no, that's not right. I'll expose that. It's best of my ability to. Why? Because I'm smart enough to.
See what he said? I'm smart enough to. People of intellectual, good intellectual prowess do not boast. This is an ego sign. And I suspect if we put him through an IQ test, he'd come up a bit short. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, a Lincoln toy.
Not because I'm fascinated with paedophiles like that. I obviously care about children and the same.
Well, if you care about, don't you think that if you find a paedophile, well, actually, let me tell you, and I can prove this, there's a paedophilia-like behaviour from the bulldog. It's on one of the videos. We've got a copy of it, where he asked 2 young boys to hang their penises out on the internet. So, you know, maybe if you're so passionate about paedophilia, might I suggest that you actually investigate Bulldog 101 and go and have a look at Rose Patton's pizza delivery on the flat earth.
Yeah, right, yeah. But because I'm able to, because I've spotted it, that's why I expose it. I've clocked it. I see these people squirming when they get backed into the corner with this intellectual stance, right, yeah? And they get all emotional and fidgety and have to leave and block and make up lies like I'm some sort of troll or something like that. I'll give an intellectual premise. A barrister of law that deals with these cases like that will tell you the same, innit? But it has to be dealt with in an intellect.
Hang on. Another problem. Didn't the lady that was just here sort of indicate that you actually trolled her? Aren't you really, in truth, an infamous troll on the internet? Well, I don't call you a troll, my friend. I call you a gaslighter. You're a real nasty piece of work where you make psychological attacks against people.
Matter in a court of law to save people from themselves, like mob justice, not just to prosecute the offender. A sexual, yeah, a paedophile will get killed in the streets if they've been outed and been fucking with the child. We all know that. I know that intuitively. Mob justice knows that intuitively. The judicial system knows that intuitively. Right, yeah? But the
What a lot of crap. People aren't allowed to do lynch mobs. They're not, you know, if they do, then law will step in.
Consent act, statute and act and prosecute.
This guy's making this up as he goes along, and this is what constitutes delusions. So these boys are, you know, make up stories. So that's delusional. I don't know whether they need psychiatric help or not, but certainly it's extremely obvious that they spend a lot of time making up stories, delusional-based stories, just to facilitate these gaslighting attacks.
Those that cross that line, like that, isn't just prosecuting that individual, it's saving people from themselves, from having to put them.
All right, enough of the drama. Get to your point.
Themselves in the situations where they would kill or cross, you know, break the law in order to, you know, justice, mob justice in that scenario. It works both. It's a double-edged sword. It's saving the public from themselves, because who could contain their emotions, you know, with a known paedophile in the same room, you'd fuck them up, wouldn't you? Right, yeah? So the law saves people from themselves as well as prosecuting the offender. It's that with an intellectual scope.
But if that were true, right, there are known pedophiles around. You'd have, you know, bodies laying everywhere. But in reality, what you have is sex offender registers, you have court systems, you have police officers, you have neighbourhood people hopefully keeping an eye out. You know, you're talking a load of shit, my friend. Not my friend. But, you know, got to love all humanity. So all I'd like to do is help you out of your psychotic behaviour.
And say it one last time, just clear the matter, just to remove any obscurity and ambiguity. Right, yeah?
Yeah.
Groom the child, a willing participant, right, yeah? Using a free man stance. Oh, they were willing, there's no harm crossed. If their stuff really, really works and has merit, then they are inadvertently or not legitimising the actions of the paedophile.
I think I know where this is going. Stupid boys.
That prey on those under the age of consent because of their naivety. Yeah? I think I am touching and exposing the edges of a really big paedophile network, and they're looking like they're some sort of moral heroes. The exact opposite of what they are. They're sexual predators, man.
Slippery little eels. Guess what, my friend? How am I gonna? Yeah, I've got some ideas already. Okay, good. Let's rock and roll.
Obscure that with bills and debt stuff and all this.
So before he gets to it, I'll get in first, right? Because I haven't seen this video yet. He could be, and I might be wrong here, because sometimes these gaslighters will lead you down a bit of a garden path. But the story seems to be framed towards, so what I did, right, and I did this, and it's well known, no problems. My wife knew I did it, etc. I've explained it in a number of videos. What happened was there was a young 15-year-old dude that was hanging around our hangout, and he was an extremely intelligent kid. The first time he was in there, he just wanted to show off his this car racing thing that he programmed, and he said, according to him, he did it in 4 weeks, and bloody impressive kid. Anyway, I had this brain, well, not a brain fade, but I had an idea, and it just happened to be at the same time, that when you give sex education to young people coming into maturity, what you should, it's a simple explanation. The first thing you do, and pay attention, because I don't think a pedophile would talk in these terms. What you do first is you ask them, do they know what true love is? And if they say they're not sure or they don't know, you explain to them what it is. Now, what it is the love that that child has for their parent, the parent has for the child has for the grandfather, the husband has for the wife. And this kid, when I explained that to him, he got it straight away without a heartbeat. He knew exactly what I was talking about. So I then asked him, because he just hooked up with a young girl, I said, do you love her, right? And he said, yeah. And, you know, you may not believe it. I mean, I've got the kid's identity there. I mean, push comes to shove, if it ever gets to a big issue. I'm not going to hassle him otherwise. But push comes to shove. So he knew straight away what I was talking about. So then I went to the second part of the story, because there's only 2 parts to it. I said to him, when you lie with your partner, explore each other's bodies, and I stopped at that. I left it at that. What it's about, though, I hope we're amongst adults, but what it's about masturbating each other, because we know our own bodies. You know, when I thought about it, I thought, wow, that works, I think. I think that's a really good idea, because, you know, it leads to, firstly, not having sex unless love is in place, and true love, not Mickey Mouse stuff. And secondarily, it's about learning from your partner, because as a male, you don't know the female body. Wouldn't have a clue where all the bits and buttons go. And same for a woman. She wouldn't know any of the hot spots. So by helping your partner explore your own body, you're going to get an outcome that leads to probably a good basis for sexual activity through life. So that's it. That's all I did. And me being me, I told people in the community that that's what I did. These guys grabbed a hold of that, the ones that have been bullying me all this time. They saw that as a great opportunity to bully me further. So what they did is they turned that story, right, a sex ed talk of basically two short sentences or paragraphs, if you like. They turned that into sexual predation. Now, since that point, I had a bit of a think, and I don't get, I mean, if I decided that it was an appropriate thing to do, I would probably do it again. But this kid was exceptional intellectually, and he's exceptionally mature. That's why I had no hesitation with him. But when afterwards I thought, nah, I shouldn't have done that. That's his father's role to tell him the sex ed talk. So from that point forward, I decided I would never, do that again. The only thing that I'd like to do is talk up with other people, you know, adults, and just see what they think. You know, is it a good idea or not? Because I think it is. I think it's a really good idea. And it's really basic and simple, but I think it covers off most of the things. You know, let's face it, people masturbate, so they know their own bodies. So I'm wondering now, where these boys will take this story, because the profile so far, you know, there's little subtles in there, seem to be, so they start off with pedophilia, but then they include at the end adults of moral standards. That's me, because I always talk about morality and spirituality. Adults with moral standards interfering with young children, and that's then pedophilia. I don't think so. You know what I think pedophilia is? A video that we've got of one of the people in this room, his name's John Bulldog May, 101. We've got a video of him asking young boys to pull their penises out online. So that's available for anyone to see. And he's one of this group of judges and jurors that think they have the right to judge and, you know, pass sentence on people. You know, pretty obvious where the problems lie, I think. Okay, let's rock and roll.
But shit, like, oh, anti-government. No, you're an aunt. You want to have sex with children and you want to try and legitimize it in any way you can because you're a sicko. More likely the story than anything, huh?
Now notice too how one guy's doing all the talking, so this almost looks scripted to me. And the other boys are sitting down, saying nothing. I mean, if you're having a discussion on that topic, I would have thought people would buy into the discussion, but that's not what's happening here. They've got a gaslighting agenda. So on the gaslighting, if you go to Google and pick up gaslighting, you'll find that one of the components of it is this elaborate setup stuff. And they all get their rocks off on it. But underneath the hood, it is very much designed to be a psychological attack. These pricks haven't got a hope in hell of breaking me psychologically. It's just not possible. That's what happens when you get enlightened. That's the way it works. Believe it or not.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm on the phone to sergeants of, constables of law that dedicate their lives to law upholding it in many degrees.
Now, if anyone knows this Batter dude, I'd welcome him in for a debate, but that Batter, they'll know the type of person he is. He's not this compassionate, socially minded individual. He's a bloody sadistic, cruel, psychological, attacking person. That's who he really is. Same as Bobcast, same as Bulldog, same as Down Corner. And if you think I'm wrong, I've got videos on most of them. Sydney as well, I've got Sydney. Don't know that I've got Russ yet. Give it time, Russ. You'll be exposed. Oh, and another thing, take note. Here I am, I'm on my own, right? One. There's probably about 20 of them now after me. But do you not see that difference? Am I the one bullying them? I don't think so. I don't think. Well, I'm not bullying them, but I'm actually intellectually defeating them. No question about that.
I'm saying every cop is a fucking angel, but who is anyway?
Me, but I don't believe in angels.
You know what I mean, yeah? Trying to tell people about how to submerge themselves in law and
get on with it.
Dedicated a large proportion of their life to it. Because you watch Chrissy Murray's fucking Facebook video of him harassing a secretary over a mobile phone. And all of a sudden you think you can go and put police and constables and judges and all that in their place. You've got to be a bit of a fuck up, ain't you? You've got to be a little bit deranged. You think that? You've got to be in you've got to be at some sort of juncture in your life where you're easily led and act on emotion irrationally. You know, which a lot of people are, admittedly, isn't it? You know, harsh times, deaths and all that. This Claire Kennedy clearly couldn't listen to a fucking response. I even said she had a good point.
Claire Kennedy. I like Claire already. Well, I should be hard to deal with. Oh, wow. Righto, so this thing is a battle. So what do I want? What was the person's name?
That's just one side of the law. You know what I mean? Yeah. All that with bills and debt stuff and all this other shit. Like, oh, anti-government. No, you're an aunt. You want to have sex with children and you want to try and legitimize it in any way you can because you're a sicko. More likely the story than anything. Yeah? Cheeky fucking cunts, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm on the phone to sergeants of, constables of law that dedicate their lives to the law, upholding it to many degrees. I'm not saying every cop is the fucking angel, but who is anyway? You know what I mean? Yeah. Try and tell people.
I know you're a little devil.
Trying to tell people that have submerged themselves in law and dedicated a large proportion of their life to it because you watch Chrissy Murray's fucking Facebook video of him harassing a secretary over a mobile phone, and all of a sudden you think you can go and put police and constables and judges and all that in their place. You've got to be a bit of a fuck up, you know. You've got to be a little bit deranged. Do you think that? You've got to be in you've got to be at some sort of juncture in your life where you're easily led and act on emotion irrationally. You know, which a lot of people are, admittedly, isn't it? You know, harsh times, deaths and all that. But this Claire Kennedy clearly couldn't listen to a fucking response. I even said she had a good point, but that's just one side of the law. I mean, yeah, paedophiles isn't all about just, and sexual predators isn't all about they grab a kid and they rape them and leave them like emotionally scarred where they, you know what I mean? Quite. That's not in entirety. And if common sense is telling you that, then you haven't got much common sense about you. You know what I mean? Oh. No, there's my little rant over. These fucking little plebs calling my name out.
Listen, got something to show you quickly. Wait 1 second. Oh, that's it. No.
You'll lag out.
No. Watch this. It's worth it. Wait. Come on, you can't.
Be able to engage with me on a truer level. But right now, she's just full of emotion, hot-headed for me. You know what I mean, yeah? She thinks I'm out to get her for some reason, and it's not her individually. It's more what she's been groomed to spew, or she's grooming others to spew. You know what I mean? That's between a shill and a grill. Now, a shill is obviously someone paid to promote their agenda. In this instance, controversy generates one way or another more income, or something else, right? Yeah? A grill, someone that's been groomed by a shill to do exactly what she would do.
Listen,
A grill has an air of innocence about them, don't they? You know what I mean? A grill has an air of innocence about them because they don't know that they're wrong. Yeah? Whereas a shill perfectly knows what they're saying and doing is wrong. A bit like an associate act.
So what's
It's getting a bit boring. I just want to get through it.
the questions? Come on.
Oh, you've got the premise to you. Right?
Wait, Claire, first of all, don't rage quit. Don't just drop out, have your say, and not let anybody else answer back. Let people answer back.
Well, you have to allow me to answer the question without interjecting. That's only fair.
Right, okay. Let me put the premise to you in a clear and concise, constructive manner. Right, yeah? To the best of my ability. Right, in law, right, yeah? Sometimes a paedophile or sexual predator isn't apprehended and held accountable for their actions, right, yeah? Because the victim involved was a willing participant, right, yeah? Meaning they were groomed.
Says who?
Case law.
Okay, okay, common sense to me. I'm just responding. We're going to do talk and talk.
I haven't finished, but like, I didn't mind your interjection. Case law dictates this, right?
Okay, well, me and you as human beings can accept. Can I just say a point there? That's case law. So say that's legality, blah, blah, blah. Case law, human logic would explain that a 16-year-old can't consent. So do we go by law or do we use common sense and moral standards instead of
A 16-year-old can consent, that's the whole point. A 16-year-old.
Supposedly, yeah.
Yeah, but listen, the statute and act of parliament isn't designed to prosecute children.
Why can you not just allow me to speak? Why are you dictating how I answer your motherfucking question? You're not my boss. You either want me to answer my question, you can shut your big fucking mouth for 30 seconds. I've given you the courtesy of 4 minutes non-stop. Are you banging on about the same fucking thing? And you won't even let me speak. That's the fucking manners.
Hurry up.
Oh, hallelujah. Thank you, bitches. So, what I was trying to say to you was there's 9 line police principles. They relate back to the 1800s. Do any of you know what they are? Yes or no?
No.
There we go then. So what's the point of having a conversation with fucking fit people? You think they know everything?
Let me ask you a question. What is the role of the police?
The police in a role is to serve the public. If you speak to the police now, I'm still talking. I'm still talking.
You're wrong.
I'm still talking because you haven't allowed me to finish. If you speak to the police today, they will tell you that they are owned and they serve the crown. Allow people to finish.
No,
Why do you think statutes and acts are not law?
Because they are not law, they are acts of parliament and they have been turned. The law is very clear. I still don't understand. No, I'm still talking. Allow people to have the same courtesy that you asked for.
Like you did with me. Right? I'm just like you did with me.
You just said in the middle of an explanation and you don't allow people to.
Listen. So you think the statute?
I do not listen to you if you won't allow me to.
Right. So you do think the age of consent statute and act of parliament isn't law? That's
no, that's your assumptions.
I'll just ask you what you think statutes and acts are not law. You just say because they're not law.
Well, raping a child. I'm sorry, but raping a child. If you're fucking sick enough to not understand that that's breaking the law of the country, you need your fucking bitch at me.
But it's a statute and act. It's a statute and act.
Okay. Well, here's a really important question. Instead of spending all your time trolling activists, why don't you go? Sorry, I'm still talking. Why don't you go? I've got a list of 20 names here of people that have contacted me today saying that your group trolls them. And do you know what? I'm still talking.
Hold it. Hold the fort. I found this lady. Guess what? Someone's got a piss weak position now.
You know we're a danger to children. People like you are a danger to our children, my darling. People like you and our paedophiles who run our country. People like you.
You just said statute and acts are not law.
People like you are known trolls. You are losers. No one follows you. The only people that follow you are paedophiles. Clearly, you go and attack your government, darling. Go and speak to the government about sexualising children. Go and speak to the government about abusing children. Go and do something useful with your fucking time instead of trolling people. You honestly got nothing more productive to add to the world than this. So that just shows how ignorant you are. You think people are the free of land. We are the people that save the children. Losers like you will be the death of our children. Losers like you probably have children and are not protected. Losers like you will be the death of our children. Losers like you are the reason our government is raping children. Losers like you are the reason our children are in prison.
She's actually spot on, this one. Very, very smart lady. Running rings around these dopes. Wow, very impressive.
Those paedophile cops, go and shove your paedophile penises in each other now. Fuck off.
Bravo, well done. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful stuff. Now, they call me a misogynist. Now, I don't think I am. I gave respect straight away to that woman. So.
What an absolute idiot.
No. Stick your ass in a court of law with her on any topic. She'll wipe the freaking floor with you.
She tried to come in and keep the civil, but couldn't.
You delusional moron.
Is she in a crack house or what? Fucking hell. Clearly on some fucking substance, isn't she? She just doesn't get it. She doesn't
Like everything, eh?
It's our fault. Government's amazing people. So you can, it's people like you giving pedophile you. That's actually right. Okay, I can't wait to edit that bit and put it up on my channel. Right. She just said, if everyone's listening to, when I asked her, what do you think statute and that law? And she gave a reason why not law. And I said, you do think that age of consent statute and that's fine, isn't law? She knows where it's going. She knows where it's going, and she doesn't like it. Well, you know, against any, that's what she's hating because I think that it's the penny starting to run. And she had to turn her back on everything she learned, all her freedom made.
The shit these people talk to themselves. They must be, I don't know, and I'm not kidding about this comment, they must be short a few quid. Because anyone watching it, anyone watching this, right, with half a brain would see that, you know, see exactly what transpired. The girl was lucid, she was talking fast, she wouldn't allow him to dominate, so she controlled him like a beauty. And when asked a question, she gave a response based on research. She just rang rings around this fool. Now, the other boys in here still are going to stay within their bully pack coalition. So they must have blinkers on or something. It's a fucking interesting phenomenon, I tell you. You have no idea.
Should agree with me. Or carry on hating me, which is the easiest thing to do. And carry on agreeing with what agreement and me. You know what I mean? You know, she's been groomed. Look at her going 6 roads.
Bloody. And that's what they do. Delusional chat box to just recover their egos.
Government's beat the balls. Look at her going proper 6 roads. I'm challenging. I want law. You know what I mean? Yeah? So something is law. It applies to everything. Yeah? Not just what you feel like it does do. If she thinks she can like not consent to a certain statute in that, then a paedophile that thinks like her can think the same, can't they? Yeah, of course they can. Really giving the excuses for paedophile. I'm the one saying that they should be held accountable.
The other bully pack are thinking, fucking hell, is he supposed to be our hero? Junior's not performing too well. All right, get rid of him.
The English will say it's rain, but she only seems to see one side of it. Like a paedophile can only rape a child violently and use force. That's not the case. And if you think that's the only way a child can be raped, like that's false, irrational thinking, and it's not really like not doing it to children anyway. You're not really protecting children. I know you're living in a bubble that doesn't exist. Children get groomed where they are willing participants. Yeah. Now, if
that's the theme. That's the same. Groomed by, yeah. So yes, let's see where it goes. I think I may know, but I might be wrong.
The no injury bullshit like that was real. Okay, or the paedophile escapes justice. Argument using her argument. Statutes and acts not law. But the paedophile used that argument after grooming a child that's winning and is saying that he didn't or she didn't harm me. Then escape justice using Claire's fucking logic. You get me? She's the only one arming these cunts with some sort of defence. Not me. But smash it to pieces. By saying, can't you see what you're doing? Can't you see the dangerous sort of people you're arming and what sort of bullshit bubble you're wrapping around children? Yeah? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. How can someone that really cares about children just like turn a blind eye to child abuse? And the importance of holding those accountable that do it. You know what I mean? Yeah?
This turkey would go out in the street after this, and he'd be walking down the shop, and if a kid was in his road, say, "Get out of the fucking road." Not me. Hello, viewer number 2. Just watching the Looney Tunes. A ring of potential. Well, we know that one guy's got some think like pedo form, this Bulldog 101, but accusations have been made that the whole group might be a bit suspect.
Because like I just explained earlier, it's not just about prosecuting the actor, it's about saving people from themselves, not justice, and acting out of emotion. You see how Claire can't handle her emotion. Yeah? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, people are like that in general, they're very emotional. People are emotional people. Emotion over reason probably dictates most of life on earth. However, reason and intellect ultimately win the day when all said and done. Even emotional people accept and admit it.
No, you stupid idiot. It doesn't work that way at all. The reality and the spice of life and the driver of all behaviours are instincts, not the brain and the senses. So those bring the input into the brain. So they're the important things that you need to watch. and be aware of. Not the friggin' brain, because the brain is faulty. And we've got 5 clowns that are proving that to us right now.
But yeah, eventually, at some point. But she's getting too emotional for this game. Can't handle it. She just wants to preach the game. But someone said earlier, she's getting to a fall. She's only ever been falling. Yeah, I'm trying to. If anything, I'm probably Claire's best mate online. I'm trying to give her a hand up. Remember I said that to you, but you laughed at me like, oh, remember all those people egging you on? I was still egging you on today. You were still doing the freelance shit. With the death sergeants and the police and the council and all that. You still remember all those people egging you on, telling you to stay away from me. Yeah, do you remember that? So, yeah, I'm probably Claire's best mate at the moment. If she's genuine, she's just been groomed by Shields with this 3-man malarkey. That's right at the moment, telling her how it is. Because that's what friends do, isn't it? You know what I mean? But she went to see that. I'm the enemy. I'm the man, you know, which tells me that, you know, perhaps she might be a bit of a shit. She might be being paid. She might be a police informer being paid to do this shit and it create a bit of controversy. Okay?
Whose butt hurt? Yada, 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 yada. Talking that, you know, that's what butt hurt people do.
Correct the box. Leave any avenue on Explorer. Emotion over reason is less good.
Ah, shut up.
I don't mind passion in a debate. I don't mind a bit of just talking over each other. I don't think there's a point to it. Just idiotic names and everything.
Hey, Bulldog, if you're gay, marry that dude, because you haven't had too much success with your wives. And you didn't answer the question, or did I ask it? I'm not sure. Did they leave you? That's the question.
You're already there. I mean, I'll back her into the corner. She thinks that she's not law, but in the next breath, is there anyone act breaks a child under the age of consent to 16? Yeah, it's just complete cognitive dissonance.
They use my word cognitive dissonance. So we're starting to get to that point. They just, viewer number 1, welcome back. They just used the word cognitive, viewer number 2, welcome back. They just used the term cognitive dissonance. See it, viewer number 2. They just used the word cognitive dissonance. Right? That's the word I use lots. So maybe we're getting close to finding out what they're really up to.
Blatantly, that's what you get me called against me. I'm bad, but they are fucking people. Intellectually. I'll show you. And some people might not get it, innit? Silly emotional people might not get what I'm saying, and they might think, Claire, once she's got back in his face, she's holding him. Just getting on here and going, Brad, you're a PA, you're this, you're that, you're a fucking whatever. Do everyone hate you? To some people, that's enough. That's all they ever want someone to do today. Cool, happy little moment. Yeah? But the people that want to learn better themselves, have a better comprehension of the law and understanding of the law, they have to agree with me. They have to. They've got no choice. Yeah? When I agree with my approach, the way I do it, what I'm saying is spot on. Right? If I was wrong, I'll be the first to admit it. And I better myself. I have to what I'm saying.
Cool. Thank goodness for that. Shut up.
That's fine. People are loving me. Oh, everyone's liking me. Come back, Claire. Come back, I'm going to sit down, people. Probably entertained. I think people love the nostrils. Did you see those nostrils there? Wow, me, man. Tunnel. There's some fucking nostrils there. I think I saw light coming out of her ears.
You can tell his confidence has dented a little just in that last bit.
I think I've had that feeling, but honestly, I'm probably the best friend she's got in which is fine. I'm not here.
Hello, all right, good evening.
How about that name?
I spoke to you before about it.
Yeah, thanks, man. Okay.
What's my story? EU law.
Oh yeah, I think we did. Yeah, we had a little. Do you remember that? About it being interpreted politically as opposed to the English, as opposed to being defined by law, which means that ultimately the EU treaties have no jurisdiction. Yeah, I think I do remember. It was just me and you, wasn't it?
It was just me and you. It was before the EU referendum. It was ages ago, last year. It was good.
I told you I was abstaining. Didn't I tell you I was abstaining? About no reason, but I know it will go my way anyway. It's not necessarily my way. It goes away. It's supposed to anyway. You know, but there is no way. Yeah, of course, definitely. Leave and remain both pretty much the same thing. And there is no plausible possible land. EU law, that's superseding one.
Not English law, UK law, it does.
I think it's fine. It would still have to be that UK law, British law, is in accordance with English law. It has to be French law.
Well, I'm telling you, it's already superseded it.
No,
Case law will tell you. If you look
you're spending a euro, when you get to the shop, you're spending a euro no coin.
No, because that would have been too obvious for the British public. If they changed the currency, they wouldn't have got away with it this long.
Of course, but ultimately, it doesn't have any jurisdiction. That's the thing.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
No, but listen, any European Supreme Court of law verdict can be dismissed by any UK judge under English law.
No, that's wrong. Because it hasn't. Well, if you look at the case law,
it can be.
If you look at the case law, it has been overturned. Our UK law has been overturned by the European Court.
No, ours, I don't in that atmosphere per se. You know what I mean? I know to some degree I've got no choice. I get that VAT, you deal with commerce, the way you deal with commerce, isn't it? What I'm saying is ultimately, under English law, UK law, Parliament is in accordance with English law, right? Yeah, it treaty in the European Union is still in accordance with UK law because it never pertains to supersede it and never can. It was interpreted politically. It wasn't defined by law. Now, this argument me and you are having is debated among scholars about barristers and big major law fucking firms and everything like that. It's a constant argument between them. Like, neither want to get, and neither can say they're ultimately right or wrong, right? Yeah? But I agree with one side of it, really, because when you look at it, the principles are powerful. How could ever wasn't treated? That political treaty wasn't defined by law. It's defined politically. Yeah, but so be it. I abstain. That doesn't bother me as much as far from reality.
Well, I don't know. I think she's living in knowledge.
I can just say it. I know that burden that Queen carries is a headache.
Everything would be shit. It would be awful if we all just agreed.
Yeah, it would be.
Well, I'm going to have to get a cup of tea, so.
I'm second something.
Paddy, you're from Brum, aren't you? My granddad was born in, is it Nicholls or Nichels?
Yeah.
Brum?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Right, the big old bit. But yeah, ladies, I don't play the best, so. Anyway, I'll go and get a cup of tea.
Wait. You listen, and they got you out. But that's how you engage with someone on political and intellectual issues. I don't know this man, I've never met him, and we agree on something and disagree on others, right, yeah? But we can both get there intellectually and see why we're here. And how, and work out semantic way. Not fucking calling each other pedophile in 5 minutes. Not hard to do, man. I can respect that action, easy debate like anyone. You're a mess at the moment. I'd really like to think that you're genuine and you're just in the room. Or 3 men on the land, I'd like to think you're genuine, how you're doing. I've been told you're a bit of a fathead. With 3 men on the land, that's not good, man. Yeah, and I was once perhaps someone idiotic enough to be doing something in that shit industry. I'm better than that. I'd rather now assist the constable board, their inquiries, to the best of my abilities, man. The calm, calculative, he's a respectful individual. He's the hardest man to deal with. The irrational. When you're arresting, there doesn't ever be any other. There's easy people to do, man. There's no rational. These people are alert, as I say that. They see someone acting all irrational, point all sorts of services in, like, just quite alone. Bullshit in that moment, okay? No, this is a walkout.
I'm back. What's going down in England tonight?
They're telling me entertainment because all these fuckers do is sit and say nothing anyway.
Perhaps I don't really listen to many of these. I only join in. I listen to back.
I'm saying, I've been on a few nights in a row, but not like I used to be. But you can stay away from this fucking highlights for 5 years and come in and it'll still get anywhere down and all the sad fuckers every night.
Yeah, I'll always be about man. I can't mind that.
You know, you can niggle the system.
I've seen more than enough Kennedys coming and go. Come and go, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, like you've got a good half of left, any shit, man.
Okay, that'll do. That was a good little grab. Didn't go where I thought it was, but maybe it's just them laying grounds. And anyway, if it's just to sort of let me know about something, I understand that. So we're good to go. Alrighty, that's it. Done and dusted. Gaslighting. Just a reminder. People that gaslight are sadistic, cruel, cold and callous, heartless human beings who perform psychological abuse to give them a sense of power. So in other words, intellectually they're a bit subpar, maybe they're low education. So how they get a feeling of self-worth, they go around and intellectually, well, not intellectually, but psychologically abuse people to make them feel like they're intelligent, right? So it's, what is it? Superiority complex, I guess. Narcissism, because that's what they broadcast out. So whenever they say something you can harmful about you can bet that it's part of their characteristics. So it's a form of psychological abuse in which a victim is manipulated into doubting their own memory, perception, and sanity. Instances may range from the denial by an abuser that previous abusive incidents ever occurred up to the staging of bizarre events. So I'm thinking that video could be the basis of one of these bizarre events being formulated in these tiny minds. by the abuser with the intention of disorientating the victim. Well, boys, it's not possible. I mean it when I say it. I'm not just joking. You can't. It's just impossible. So, you know, my advice to you would be give up. Well, before you do, just tell the truth. All right, good night. Viewer number 1.